Hello, Jacob Hawley from the Screen Rock Podcast here. Hope you're well. Now, in the intro to the episode you're about to listen to, Jake and I speculate on how many tickets for the tour we have sold because we recorded that intro a few weeks ago, just before some of the tickets went on sale. I have a correct update for you now. London sold out in a few hours on pre-sale. Amazing. Glasgow, Brighton, Manchester, also sold out to Patreons via pre-sale. Bristol is now also sold out too. There are 20 tickets left in Birmingham. There's about 20 tickets left in Leeds as well. If you want us to bring our show to either Edinburgh, Newcastle or Liverpool, give us a shout. We're game. Let us know. Finally, London people who couldn't get tickets, those of you who aren't on the Patreon side, who maybe are on the Patreon side but are a little bit slow to the button, we've got big things coming in London soon. Keep your eyes peeled. Get on the Patreon if you want priority access. I'm hoping the stuff we've got coming is going to be big enough that everyone's going to be able to buy a ticket. Patreon, non-Patreon, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your time. Enjoy this episode of the Screen Rock Podcast. Welcome to the Screen Rock Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. Shout out to everyone who subscribes to us either on Apple, Spotify or YouTube, doing us a massive favour, as well as those who are giving us 5-star reviews. We really appreciate that. A big shout out to the patrons who pay for this podcast, the Freemasons on £3.99 a month. They're getting extra episodes like this every single week, plus access to the Rock Bar, the live stream show that we're doing once every single month. The Illuminati get all of that for £5.99 a month, plus a free hat on their head and access to a group chat and a Discord. Mad. Big shout out to Eugene, who does our Twitter account. Might be sent by God.
By God.
Big wink and a kiss mwah, to the ladies who listen, who are indeed some of the most gorgeous and sexy ladies in the UK. And I'm here with Jake Farrell.
Pleasure to be here as always. Second episode of the day. You never know where this is going to go.
Always goes a bit
caffeinated,
off kilter.
Yeah.
Well, you say caffeinated. I've got a lovely Fanta. Very nice. I only ever have that on holiday. It's beautiful weather here in England.
Sunny Soho, yeah. I like a Fanta Limon when I'm on holiday.
Everyone says that. No one actually enjoys it.
What do you mean?
No.
I like that. No. You can't tell me what I like.
It's a fucking
You'd love that, wouldn't you, to tell me what I like?
That's Gary Gunn, isn't it? That's what he does. What do you like to drink on holiday?
Fanta Lemon.
That's not true. She's like, what? And he's like, that's what you want. That's what you... Huh? What? That's... Yeah. That's
last
tension.
week for them, an hour ago for us.
But yeah, sure. Welcome back. I hope everyone's good. May I just start by... I wanted to read out some of the reviews that we get for this podcast.
Please.
I did a thing a few weeks ago. I was like, if you leave us a nice review, I want to read some of them out. I want to read this review. This is signed off by someone called... hang on. Peaky Blinders Barbers. My mental health has been bad since I was made homeless after the closure of my barbershop that had nothing to do with copyright infringement. But listening to these podcasts keeps me warm inside when I'm begging for change outside Holloway Road Tesco Express. Bosh.
As we've always said, the listeners to this podcast are way funnier than the podcast itself. Eugene, obviously the funniest member of the team. Second funniest member of the team. The listeners, then you and I joined third. I think that's where we are.
Yeah,
we got a couple of 1 stars, didn't we? I mean, I think
we got one star where it was literally my personality that they didn't like. They really liked you, and they considered you to be erudite. There's another one titled "Bonnie Blew Away." This review, great to listen to when I'm in a long queue. ...
So thanks for doing the reviews. Keep them coming in. A bit more admin wise, have we got tickets left for 2 tour dates? We've just stopped talking about the tour, which is probably not the best promotion.
Can't be asked. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think there'll be many left. There are literally like 10, 15 left in Leeds and Bristol.
Yes.
I will say that you are right to point out that, well, let me just get my thinking hat on. Tickets would have gone on sale for London and Birmingham. We don't know whether there'll be any left. I don't think there will, because it's a small room in Birmingham and London is a fairly small room, and a lot of our listeners live there. So there might be tickets left to London and Birmingham. We wish we could help you. Maybe what I'll do is one of those videos You know, sometimes before the episode, I either apologise or tell them this stuff.
Yeah, you've either got to flog something or you've got to apologise for something you've said.
Yeah. So yeah, there might be some tickets to see us live.
Talking of the rest of the UK, I know you're the king of Holloway Road.
That's true, yeah.
And you're the number one face around there. You're kind of like...
Can I just say, you've said that before. I was like, I think I'm the king of Holloway Road. And you were like, I've always harboured suspicions that you consider yourself a face around Holloway Road. Yeah. I want to just clarify... I don't think that I'm like famous on my street
because of
being a comedian or screenwriter. No,
heaven forbid.
It's just pottering around and shouting.
Yeah. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
I just want to make that clear. I don't see myself as like a famous comedian. I see myself as like an idiot who's always up and down the road.
No, you are famous in places.
I saved someone's fucking life.
Yeah, famously. But you are famous in like places where a lot of people listen to this podcast, like Pentonville, Broadmoor, those kind of places. That's
or the upper stand of the Emirates. Yeah, that's right.
The upper stand of the Emirates. That is true. And I know you'd never move away from Holloway Road. You're set for life. Mm-hmm. Like Tony would never leave New Jersey. If you had to live in one other city in the UK, have you ever thought about which one it might be?
No, I haven't. And I'll tell you what, I don't really like that question.
Why?
Do you mind if we cut that and move on to something else?
Why?
I don't like thinking about that.
Don't like thinking about what?
That's genuinely made me feel really like I don't like that.
Leaving London?
Where would I live?
Yeah.
No, that's like, where would I don't like that.
What do you mean?
Talk about something else. I don't like that. I don't like it.
You have literally talked about like, I want a fetish. My mate sniffed a girl's bum, and I'm like, would you like to live in a different city? You're like, no, that's beyond the pale. That.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not like I couldn't live. I don't know. It just makes me feel a bit weird. I don't know. Maybe like I don't know if I've ever really liked. And Folkestone was all right on tour, wasn't it? Folkestone. They've got that thing. Yoko Ono did a bit of artwork on the high street.
Yeah. They wouldn't shut up about it, would they?
Yeah, fucking. This is the art quarter. Yeah, because you got graffiti. No, yeah, Folkestone for me. What about you? Where do you live?
No, that's interesting.
Have you considered it? Have you? Well, you did move to Hertfordshire and then came back with your tail between your legs.
You always say that. You always say tail between my legs. I didn't. I came back.
You couldn't hack a
standing tall. It's like that bit in The Simpsons where it's like in Mr. Burns' office, it says applicants apply and it's the door and it's like re-applicants and you have to come crawling back through the thing. I think now...
Have we been anywhere on tour that you're like, I could live here?
I love Leeds. First proper time in Manchester. I've not really been to Manchester much. That was class as well. I don't know. I reckon I wouldn't mind going like proper countryside next time. If we could do the Screen Rock podcast entirely remotely, I would go like full on wilderness shit. As far out as I can get, man. And I'm divorced, by the way. No.
I'm gonna be dipping into the countryside.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going on a stag do this weekend. I'm going on a.
I didn't realise there was countryside involved.
Yeah. We're heading up to the country, boy.
What for? Is that where you're gonna do the drugs?
Well, we're going to do the drugs all day, yeah, but,
right.
but we will do them in the country as well. Yeah.
You're not going to the country specifically for the drugs?
No, we're going to buy them. I'm going to go get some in a minute, actually. I'm meeting someone in Central after this.
But I'm not coming with you. No, paracetamol, we mean, obviously.
Yeah. So we're going on a stag. We're watching the boxing in Tottenham around the actual event, right?
Oh, you're right.
We've got a rooftop bar with a TV, so we'll watch it up there.
Bragging about having a TV, class.
Well, we have to bring our own TV
to the bar. Okay, so it was relevant then.
Yeah.
Okay, then what?
And then, we're booked in at a little house in Cheshunt.
Right.
We're going to go up to Cheshunt.
Why?
I don't really know. There's like a couple of us involved in booking and planning this thing.
Right.
And the guy who was in charge of accommodation, like he sent me like a house in Finsbury Park. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. And he sent me another one in Tottenham. I was like, yeah, that'll work as well. And then before you know, he's like, what about Cheshunt? Yeah, why not? Yeah, fine. Let's get up to Cheshunt. Let's get up there, cause some madness. Let's see what the locals think of us. Well, after some 2CB and a bit of coke.
Is the Coca-Cola, is the house like away from lots of other houses, or is this?
No, amongst loads. I think we're going to get kicked out. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. The people
it's
of
one
Cheshunt.
of those things. This is one of the things about my brain, and my sister has this problem as well. Right? If a bad thing's about to happen,
right,
but it's not my fault, I won't stop it happening.
Interesting.
Do you understand what I mean by
Yeah,
that?
I do.
So my sister sometimes has been driving around. I've watched my sister do this. She's been driving around a roundabout and someone will pull out on her.
Right.
The normal thing to do is to slam the brakes on.
Yes.
She goes, no, your fault. If you get hit, not my fault. And just keeps driving. And nearly kills people.
Right.
I don't really speak to my sister anymore. But like this thing, I know it's going to go wrong.
Right.
I know it's going to go wrong.
But you're not going to throw your body in the way
I said to Matt, I was like, don't book us into a nice house in Cheshunt, right? And lie and say that we're a family of 5 when it's actually like 15 lads. Don't do that because they'll have cameras and they'll just kick us out. And Matt was like, no, they won't. I was like, okay. Because I think I think I enjoy being proved right.
Yes.
More than having a bed to sleep in at night.
Join the club, brother.
So
That's why we get along so well. This is it. Now we're really getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're arrogant.
Yeah. We're arrogant and aloof and actually more fun to say, I told you so, than it is to say, well done for doing something right, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So I'm up to the country, but so my in-laws live in the country in the west of Ireland. Right. In
proper country.
Proper, mate.
Turf fire country.
Oh my God. It is fucking... Like, I love Ireland.
Shit.
I love Ireland and I love my Irish in-law family, blah, blah, blah.
Your brethren. But...
I'm going back there in a couple of weeks, actually. I've got a stand for my nephew's communion. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't know what that means.
No, I don't. I just got to...
Does that actually mean there's not enough seats in the church?
Well, I don't know. I have to be involved. I have to be the guy who does the communion.
I don't believe there's... okay, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my first Holy Communion and I can't remember what that bit of it is. Maybe my auntie and uncle were like I don't really think you have sponsors or anything.
Ooh, sponsor implies financial input. I don't think I'd agree to that. You have to bring a bit of money. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm going back Ireland soon. And mate, you get out there and you're saying you want to live rural. Fucking wait till you see what rural actually means.
Right.
It's fucked. It is crazy. They don't have proper roads.
Right.
Like where my missus's dad lives, he's got this house. It's just in a field.
Yeah.
And I always say that. I'm like, we're in the middle of a field. And she's like, why is that weird to you? It's like, because there's a fucking field there. There's no house next door. Right. There's no fucking neighbours. You can't see them.
Yeah.
And like, he's had to like...
You should have gone there for the stag do.
Well, they've had to dig like a little road out to be able to get a car to the house. He's had to dig his own road.
Is this a common occurrence? Is this just your father-in-law?
There's loads of them doing it. There's loads of them living like this in rural Ireland.
Like they're hobbits or something.
They kind of are, man. Honestly, if a little fucking wizard came up, if a little wizard came up this road, being like, I need you to get rid of a ring, I'd be like, this feels right.
Yeah. Big old wagon of fireworks on the back. Full of a took right here.
Yeah.
This guy fucking chucking suits of armour down wells like you read about. So it's like, it's kind of off grid. It's not attached to the road network.
No internet. I mean, I remember like the first time going over there, my missus was like, why don't you come stay for like a week with my family, and you can just work from my dad's house.
Oh my God.
Get there and like,
prison sentences
don't work. There's no internet. It's like, did you not bring a dongle? What? I don't think we're going to the fucking moon. What are you talking about? It's just like, it's crazy. Yeah. And like, but I do think it's like, you have to be around other humans to be stimulated. Like I think where I live, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Do you know what I mean? Okay. I'm treading over bodies outside Domino's Pizzas. Like it's a bit much.
A lot of cortisol going around.
Yeah. But I also think that way is the road to madness as well. Do you know? And I don't think you would do well. I think you need other people around you. Sort of.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware. It'd go badly.
You need a bit of poking.
It'd be shining areas. Yeah. All work, no play, make, say goodbye, boy. That kind of stuff.
What do you think you would do? Like your madness.
I'd get halfway through 7 novels, both reading and writing them. I would desperately try and like quit smoking or something, like drive the car into the nearest town, buy loads of fags.
Smoking,
yeah, just all kinds of stuff like that. Classic FM would calm on all day, just trying to quiet the voices down a bit.
This is the thing. You like to think that you're like not above, but like very different to some of the nutters that I hang around with. You're actually very similar.
Yeah, I just don't do drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you're fired up on nicotine, caffeine, and
true.
anger.
Apart from the 3 drugs that I take all day, every day, I don't take any drugs. Yeah,
absolutely. That's it. Now we're talking about having a bit of time on our hands.
Yes.
The subject this week is someone who does have a lot of time on his hands. The subject we're talking about this week is someone who, it's kind of like the dream life. It's like no financial stress. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you put a boy in a vacuum, what will he do?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it is. It's a young, good-looking lad. Stick him out in the middle of in the world,
like a social experiment,
with a load of money in his pocket. He can do anything.
Where does he go for? Yeah.
Where will he go?
It is telling, actually. You're right.
Which way, Western man? Bolognese sauce.
Bolognese sauce, it turns out. This week we're talking about the frequently requested, the much maligned, and maybe the misunderstood Brooklyn Beckham. Oi, get on this.
Oh, yes, I'd like to, yeah.
I think that Brooklyn Beckham might be the kind of perfect, quintessential ideal of a NEPO baby. I think he is like we talk about sometimes these social media characters are like, if you took the extract of all of the things that this person represents and boils them down, like this is the real essence of it. And I don't use NEPO babies so much in that kind of like truly derogatory term, like people get really fired up about this as a topic. I just mean like this is what celebrities' kids are meant to do with that celebrity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I fucking agree with you. How do you feel about NEPO babies in general? Do you get bitter? Because we know
I'm bitter about everything.
We know some, but we know some NEPO babies, don't we? Like, like Elliot Steele's a NEPO baby, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, his dad did comedy, yeah.
Dad does comedy.
Still does.
His dad does comedy. His dad literally gets him gigs. His dad casts him in his radio sitcoms. And fucking respect to Elliot. Elliot does everything he can to ruin those opportunities. I respect Elliot Steele, and he's genuinely a mate of mine, but I respect him so much for that. Elliot Steele, if you haven't, check him out, great comedian. But what he does is he wears the NEPO baby thing on his sleeve, and then he rips the sleeve, spits on it a bit, smokes cigarettes so much that the sleeve stinks to the point where the TV execs wouldn't really want him in the office.
Right.
He's got a daft mullet. He looks like a character from The Simpsons who's about to say something racist if we were past the watershed. And he does disgusting stand-up comedy that I find very funny.
Right.
And I like my NEPO babies to be conscious, but not too worthy.
Yes.
I don't like my NEPO babies to be deceitful with it.
Yes, agree.
And I also don't like when they're a bit too kind of apologetic over it.
Yeah.
I've said this on the podcast before.
Lose-lose for these guys.
Enjoy your wealth. Show it. Like, so I've seen a lot of NEPO baby discourse around a musician called Lola Young.
I was about to bring her up.
Right.
Yeah.
Now if people don't know the Lola Young, she's an Instagram song maker. She makes songs to use in Instagram Reels and TikToks.
I don't know that that's how she would put it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, she hasn't turned down the money.
She made this song called Messy, which went very viral.
And I'm too fucking clean.
Yeah.
You tell me get a job and ask me where the
You know the lyrics pretty well, brother.
It's on every fucking Instagram Reel I've ever seen. And it is every fucking middle class, very comfortable, either young person or woman or whatever, going like, God, I am so bloody messy. I've only saved $1,000 this month. Well, I was being like, oh God, my room's a tip and I've been to Carluccio's twice this week. Oh,
I work for Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been designing rockets all week.
No,
I'm a boss bitch.
I waited till December to do my tax return. What am I bloody like? Asking my parents for money again. I pissed at après ski when my parents took me to Switzerland. It's like, fuck. Oh, but the NEPO baby thing with her, first of all, she went to Brit school. Right.
Now, I do believe the Brit school should be torn down, should be taken out of existence. Not because of her, but just...
No, because of Loyal Kana, who in my opinion is the worst recording artist of the 21st century. That's why it should be...
Good with the time for the reason. Out for different time for the season.
My granddad died, and now I'm doing a rap. Imagine doing that with mental health. Okay, mate. If you're a rapper, fucking, I want bitches, hoes, drugs, drug dealing. Yeah,
you get them on a Saturday night anyway. What's the
no, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want conscious rap from someone whose granddad passed away. Boo hoo, you're 30, mate. It fucking happens. Anything worse than your granddad passing away when you're 30 is than fucking still being alive. I have to go see my nan every week, and she's a fucking nasty piece of work.
As discussed, yeah.
Oh, mate, honestly, one of the worst. Anyway. my point, I'm with you.
Are you going to get to the point about Lola Young?
Well, her nan,
aunt,
close, is Julia Donaldson.
What, are you doing Mad Libs or something? Her aunt is a clown.
It's the only way this podcast gets any more deranged and difficult to listen to. Her aunt is Julia Donaldson, the writer of the famous children's book The Gruffalo, many other children's books, and I will say Julia Donaldson, top tier. She's who reads.
What a children's author she is, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's good, and she's brilliant. Tiddler. Fucking what?
I hardly knew her.
The Highway Rat. She writes great.
That's made up. There's not a book called The Highway Rat.
The Highway Rat was a baddie. The Highway Rat was a beast. He ate what he took. He took what he ate. His life was one long feast.
Wow,
he's great, right? But she's worth £30 million,
right?
And there's people who are like, yeah, okay, so Lola Young's NEPO Baby, and she's got that very affected kind of, no, I'm posh, but I am actually Cockney. And it's like, you're not. You fucking stop it.
But so you do you think that qualifies if your aunt is rich?
What?
To be a NEPO baby?
She's not just rich, she's £30 million in the kind of creative arts industry.
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, I think
she's not even transphobic. Like, if you
imagine how rich she would be if she was.
Well, no, but I think if you're J.K. Rowling's niece, it's like, you know what? I actually give
you're fucking fuming. Aren't you?
No, but I've got more respect. If you manage to become like a successful like musician, pop star, comedian, actor, whatever, whilst J.K. Rowling, it's like fair enough, man. Yeah. It's like, yes, money, but you've had to deal with some. But shit. I think it goes back to Lola Young. Yeah, it
goes back to the thing of like the consciousness of it. I think because. I think it's pretty tough when it's like, oh, your aunt's mega rich. And it's like, it's not really that she still can be talented and that song can still be really catchy and good. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you have to acknowledge, I suppose, what you've been able to grow up around or the security that you've been able to grow up in. I always remember an interview with Lena Dunham where the interviewer brought up the allegations of her, like not being a NEPO baby, but just being from this, like her mum's a really famous visual artist. And the interviewer brought it up as like a joke. Like, how could anyone ever accuse you, Lena Dunham, who lives in the Upper East Side of New York in like a penthouse with your mum who's a visual artist? Mm-hmm. How could they accuse you, Lena Dunham, of like having access to the world of New York visual arts and all that entails? They didn't finance your film, did they? Your first film that you got made at 18 for $700,000. They didn't actually give you the money. They could have done. They didn't give you the money, did they? And she was like, yeah, no. And then it was like one of the other lead people in Girls was the daughter of a billionaire. Huh. And the other lead person in Girls, one of the other lead people in Girls was the playwright David Mamet's daughter, who wrote Glengarry and Ross. And there was this whole thing of like, well, like the billionaire's not actually involved in making the show, or like David Mamet is not a writer on the show. And she did this whole spiel about how it's like ludicrous she could ever be accused of it. And it's like, no, it's like the air that you breathe is all part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like the world in which you're
massively
in. It's like
even just knowing people that have done something. Right. I remember telling my parents. I remember like when I was like, coming to an age of like choosing university degrees and what I want to do myself. And I remember saying to my dad, I was like, I think I want to be a comedian one day. And I remember my mum being like, oh. And it was never a thing. I think loads of comedians, like I've seen loads of like newer comedians being like, I'm trying to do this for a living. Imagine my parents' reaction to that, being a clown. Could I not be a doctor or lawyer? My parents never had any hopes of me being a doctor. So it wasn't that they were like, oh, that's a bit of an embarrassment. You're going to be a professional clown, not much money, blah, blah, blah. None of that. My mum's words were, she goes, oh, we don't really know anyone who's ever done anything like that.
Yeah.
That's what she said. She was like, she was just like, how? Oh God! Do you have a boss? Do you interview for that? We've never done. And
how much annual leave do you get?
It was a thing of like, I don't know how to do anything like that. Yeah. Whereas if your aunt, even if you're being a singer and your aunt is writing books, it is it's like, you know how to do something like that.
Yeah.
You know how to break into a creative industry. And it's just being around people that... And it's not even just being around it. It's why representation is so important. And this is a fucking serious start to a daft podcast about Brooklyn Beckham. But like, it's why it's important. It's like, I'd never seen anyone do anything like that.
Yeah.
Be a fucking actor, be this, be that. I don't know how to fucking do it. Just being around, growing up around people doing that, you go, oh yeah, I guess I can do that.
Yeah. And it's like, this is not to say that these people aren't talented. Lena Dunham is undeniably talented.
And Brooklyn Beckham makes a lovely pasta sauce.
A brilliant writer, a brilliant director. Lola Young, I like that song. I'm sure the rest of the album's good. Yeah, I think it's quite good.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's really one of those contrarian things of like, oh, it's shit, it's fucking bollocks. Oh, I like good music, like Bon Iver, whatever. Who
I don't
cares?
like Bon Iver.
Grow up. I like Jay Huss.
Yeah, I do.
I don't care. I think it's fine.
I like Father John Misty.
Yes, you do. Father John Misty and Jay Huss. What a Venn diagram. Incredible. And so I'm not
Could
like...
he be the waviest gooner of all time?
I don't want to be like a real chip on my shoulder classist about all of this. But I just, like, Brooklyn is sweet and silly with his nepo-ness.
He's sweet. He's silly.
He knows that this is where he is.
He does interviews where he's like, "This is my Rolex. It's my Pepsi one. My dad bought it for me for my birthday, and then he bought me another one." And it's like,
a lovable Labrador.
This is it. Yeah,
that likes luxury goods.
Stroke him behind the ears. Put another Rolex on his arm. Let him go to another restaurant. Yeah, fucking yeah. He's making he like, and he's also. He's like, what he's doing. I remember, like, you know, like when you're so you choose your GCSE,
yes,
yeah, and then you choose your A levels,
yeah.
And I remember you could really separate the kind of serious people from the unserious people based on the choices they made. You know, I remember most serious people I knew. It was at A level I'm gonna do history, English lit, blah blah blah, science, blah 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 blah, and then all that. Yeah, right there you go. You're a serious man. Like you're a serious guy.
Thank you.
Bought a house now.
Yes.
All of my fucking idiot mates, yeah, we were doing cooking. We were doing photography. I was doing drama. And it's like, yeah, respect Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't have to be a serious guy. So he's not being a serious guy.
No.
He's doing cooking.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit of cooking.
Yeah, it's like stuff that you don't have to do.
Yeah.
He's not doing English. And he's not doing, like...
So we'll talk about his book of photos in a minute, which are, and there is no other word for it, dog shit, right?
Well,
but, like,
okay, we'll talk about that, yeah.
So, like, the loads of people got their high horse about these terrible photos, and the publishers put out a really good statement, and the statement was, this is a book of photos by a teenager for other teenagers. This isn't a kind of dialectical materialism text about Marxism. Do you know what I mean? This is a book of silly photos that girls who fancy Brooklyn because he's got nice hair can buy.
They
right?
Put it on their Tumblr with a Bon Iver lyric caption.
And like we've got the pictures here.
Come on, skinny love, just last a year.
We've got the pictures here. I can show you to them now. But like, so one of them is an elephant, and it's. It's just completely in shadow. You can't even see it. And it says as a caption, elephants in Kenya, so hard to photo, but lovely to see, which was nice. And then another one is a photo of a completely out of focus dinner party that he's at, where he says, and the caption's not on there, but it says, the picture's out of focus, but I think you can tell there's a lot going on, which is a lovely thing to say. Like, this is not meant to be intended as a serious work of photorealist journalism.
Can I challenge you on something now?
Go on.
Do you honestly, and I know, listen, and I've taken some risks on this podcast, insulting photographers with our audience. This is a real... Right. Tell me honestly right now.
Yes.
You put one of those photographs next to a quote-unquote good photograph by a good photographer. You can tell the difference? I fucking cannot.
Fair question. I think the one with the picture one that's just completely out of focus, I think you could make a case that the elephant one is like the shadow is part of it, but I think it's just a shit photo. But yeah,
I haven't got a clue.
No,
one of my mates is a really good photographer. He's been like, his work's been like shown internationally. Right. He's done like a PhD in photography, and I love my mate, and like he's done photos for us in the past that I think have been great. I don't think he listens. I hope no one would repeat this to him. I mean, I live in North London. I'm a white guy. I've got 9 friends who are photographers, right? But I'll see his work sometimes, and he's like, "This is the one that they've just shown it in Paris and it won this award," and I'm like, I haven't got a fucking clue why.
But would you say it's actively bad?
Do you know what a lot of photos are? Do you know what I've noticed? A lot of like I see like photos that are like nominated for awards or like win stuff. I'm like, it's a person like, here's how you know it's done by a professional photographer rather than like, I don't know, just you taking a picture of like your mate somewhere nice.
Right.
The subject isn't smiling. That is literally the difference between like an award-winning photo about austerity in Britain
and your auntie's birthday,
and you taking a picture outside your new flat, right? It will still be a person. It will still be no, but listen. It will still be a person stood in front of a flat that was built to be a council flat, but is now privately owned. Yeah. Except in one of them, the person looks unhappy, and in the other one, the person looks happy.
So this one, just moved in.
That is Emma takes a picture of Jake. He just got the keys to their new flat, over the moon. Oh God, isn't it good to be on the property ladder? That one, in Cameron's Britain, austerity is rising.
Deep-seated urban decay.
Exactly, deep-seated urban decay. That is literally it.
Yes.
I look at my mate did. He did this like he did these photos about like masculinity. Yeah, and there's like it was like two guys with kettlebells, tops off, hench, but looking like just sort of vacant stares up. And it like won awards. Get them smiling. It's an advert for a personal trainer. Like, I fucking mean it. Get them smiling in a branded vest. It's an advert for a personal trainer, and people are going, "That is beautiful. That is genius." And I'm like, and by the way, I'm not saying his work is bad. I'm thick. I don't get it, but I'm literally like,
this might be the truest thing you've ever said. I mean, this is like, I guess, like, yeah.
So I look at Brooklyn stuff, and I'm like. Honestly, you frame it differently. You put a fucking thing underneath the elephant, a piece of text that's like elephants are going extinct, and isn't that just a great representation of how the whole Western world feels about smaller, lower economically developed countries in Africa? It wins a prize.
It wins a prize, yeah.
Yeah. The elephant smiles, and it's an advert for a safari.
The only pictures that I like are pictures of like animals.
Yeah,
like wolves jumping over a fence.
Wolves jumping over a fence?
Yeah, there's a famous one of wolf jumping over a fence. And it was actually staged, and I was gutted when I found out. But like, I think that might be the only good photography is wildlife photography. Actually, is there any good art? Is any art good?
I'm fucking delighted you've come onto that. I can't think of any. I honestly, do you know what I think the best art is in the world at the moment? Yeah. Podcasts. Genuinely, I think it's the best. Like, think of good art. Have you watched a good film in the last 5 years?
No,
me neither.
No.
TV?
When did Children of Men came out? Children of Men came out, and there's Sopranos. Yeah, that's the
Sopranos. 20 years ago now.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Music?
No, not any.
I liked the Father John Misty album, or at least I think I did. I went to watch it live. I had a bad back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because it's bad music? I guess
the songs are 9 minutes long.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like 3 songs, really, ideally.
That's 2 different backs to stand for that long. No music, no films, no TV.
Contemporary dance? Seen any good contemporary dance?
I was about to say theatre. Imagine
it.
Actually, I've heard that and I'm not saying this as a joke. I have heard that and you're going to laugh at this. I honestly mean this completely seriously.
Yeah, sure you do.
Apparently, Paul Whitehouse in the Only Fools and Horses musical is unbelievable.
I've heard that as well.
That might be the only good piece of art.
I heard that from one of my mum's friends.
That might be the only good piece of art left in the UK.
The only good pieces of art in the UK are this podcast and the Only Fools and Horses musical.
And the Arsenal Opinion podcast. What's the Bielsa one you listen to?
Square Ball, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's it. Oh, yeah,
I've listened to that. It's good. No, I don't know if art is good anymore. I think because of consumerism, we're past art now. I'm trying to get us back on topic. That is something that Brooklyn Beckham would say. Yeah, because of consumerism, we're past art.
So this is Brooklyn. Brooklyn puts videos on his Instagram. Usually these videos would get about 10 views, but it's Brooklyn Beckham. So this one got 9.2 million. Brooklyn's making a pasta. You'll see, though, that he's got a different approach to some chefs that you might see on Instagram. So he's putting some like endure in the pan. Oh, and then there's just a big jar of tomato sauce.
Cream.
Bit of cream. Must be more to the recipe than that. There's got to be.
Salt, more cream.
Nope.
Boil pasta, add cheese, do the flippy thing.
And then he's doling it out like it's kind of like a tasting menu. Gives the plate a wipe.
What he did do is he wiped the side of the bowl. That I think that's what separates that from being what a student eats at 4 a.m.
I think that the TV show The Bear, again, going back to bad art, no, that's good actually, has got a lot to answer for. Have you seen The Bear?
No. No, but I know what it is. It's the geezer with the funny face cooking and getting angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
So the bear, geezer with the funny face cooking.
He's the bear,
angry.
is he?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
other TV shows, adolescence. How are you describing that?
Oh, don't. I've spoken about it a lot on the Patreon side till someone who worked on the show commented on one of our things, be like, interesting to hear your takes on.
How would you sum it up if you had to do a one-line description?
Walking. Just fucking walking. Oh my God, I'm fucking jonesing for a cut. Yeah. After 10 minutes of watching those cunts storm around from fucking school to prison to hospital to school to prison. It's like watching Lord of the fucking Rings. It's just a walking show.
Yeah. The man with the funny face gets angry while cooking. Adolescents, like sad family, walk around.
Scouse man gets angry whilst walking, yeah.
Yeah. What other ones though that you could describe?
What do you mean?
How do you describe footballers' wives?
Footballers' wives? Ooh, okay.
Without using the word tarts.
Well, that's what I'm about to use a worse word. I will use this because I'm 99% sure that this is on one of the descriptions on the DVDs. Nasty bitch ruins lives with horniness. Someone reminded me, Tanya from Footballers' Wives, there is a scene. That's the last. That's the last good piece of art. There's a scene in Footballers' Wives where Tanya gives a footballer Coke and then shags him till he's dead. That is a scene in Footballers' Wives. She gives someone Coke, right? She gives him Coke like without him knowing. She puts it in a drink or something. Right. He has Coke, gets like really like horny and mad on Coke, and then she shags him to death. That's fucking class. That is quality. I'm watching that at 13, like, yeah.
What a way to go. Horny.
But your point on the bear is about the cooking thing, right? You think it's turned everyone into a wannabe Ramsay.
It's an interesting thing because it's like you say, this guy has effectively got Brooklyn Beckham, he's got a frictionless existence. He doesn't have to work. He's got more money than you could ever spend. It says something about the psyche of young people that it's like, where do I go in that environment? Like, sport's probably cut off for him. His dad's one of the best footballers in the history of English football.
Well, I'd go the other way, actually. I'd say, if anything, the nepotism would mean that he has a way into playing for a club. And I think he did play for a while, Brooklyn.
A little bit. I think Romeo plays.
Plays. He's fucking gorgeous. He's like the model one now, isn't he, Romeo?
I believe so. Yeah, and he was like in the Brentford B team and stuff. He played in the States. Like he was very good.
Obviously,
apparently.
Cristiano's boy plays in Saudi Arabia, which is extremely competitive league where only the finest will get to the top of that.
Right. Yeah. God, I watched that video of the guy taking a throw on there the other day. It was absolutely amazing.
But no, I think but I get what you're saying. Like,
so it's like that's kind of tough to meet or supersede the what your family have done. And obviously his mum's big fashion designer now, was a pop star before. So there's kind of these slightly, like you say, you could go into those options, but like now there's this huge currency in having tattoos on your hands and being a chef. Yeah.
And I cook.
So do you think of yourself as a bit chefy? Do you think you know your stuff?
Yeah. If I wasn't doing this, if this and this needs me, right? This industry, podcasting needs me. If it didn't need me,
the last great art form
I'd be in the kitchen. I'd be in the kitchen.
Do you say that because you've had training, or why do you say that?
I think best chefs haven't been trained.
Interesting.
Do you know El Burrito Monster, the guy who makes the mad burritos?
Yes, I do.
Not trained. And he makes some fucking huge burritos. He put a Scotch egg in one the other day.
Do you know Marco Pierre White or something like that?
No, I'm not being, like, I am, and anyone who's had my food, I know, I understand.
You know your way around it. You know your way around the hole.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of social currency cooking in that now. Do you, like, I'm not saying you do it because it's like a cool thing to do, but like he's kind of like,
I do it because my mum was shit. My mum was fucking bad at cooking. I had to learn.
Now, this is an underrated thing about growing up in Stevenage in the 2000s.
Oh, my God.
My mum, by the way, and my mum wasn't a bad cook when we were growing up. I just think there was so little information about how to be a good cook that was readily available in the same way that
exactly. I'm watching reels that show me to put the garlic in the olive oil first and then the tomatoes in and try and skin
it's just a different world.
It's a different world. I remember, like, and what drives me fucking mad is my mum, and I think a lot of like mums from that era do this. She's got this thing of like she will tell anyone who'll fucking listen how many vegetables she used to cook for me. And it's like, yeah, tell them that you used to fucking boil them for about 15 minutes and they wouldn't stay on the fork because they were so fucked. Tell them that once I had my friend Chris Tan round, who, by the way, his dad was Malaysian.
I remember Chrissy Tan, yeah.
Oh, mate, you'd go round there, the stuff his dad would cook, it was fucking unbelievable, right? My mum I remember Chris Tan came around once. She was like, I'll do pizza. That means she'll buy an oven pizza.
Nice.
It was around the time that they started, for some reason, putting the little foam discs in the box. I think it's to keep the pizza firm in the box.
Yeah.
She just left the foam underneath. Fucking plastic pizza.
Yeah, tough scene from memory.
But that's so yeah, I did learn how to cook quite early on, so that she would get out of the fucking kitchen.
Out of a sense of Dickensian necessity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's not the case for young Brookers.
Brooklyn's watched some Brooklyn. I think the kind of the viceification of cooking, which happened probably about 10 years ago, started with like these things called Chef Night Out on Vice, where they would all go out after service and they would go. It was like the precursor to Top Jaw, which is now the like short form version of that. The chefs would finish for the night at their service. Then they would say, oh, this is where we go to eat.
Where do the chefs go?
Exactly. And they would go, and they all look the same. They all look like that guy, Matty Matheson, that's in The Bear, and he's a Canadian chef.
Yeah.
Big guys, usually tattoos everywhere. And that became like the rock starry thing to do for a while, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Bear is the kind of end point of that. But Brooklyn, God bless him, he's got the tattoos. He looks fantastic in a white t-shirt, by the way. But when he makes pasta, just pop a jar of Alfredo.
It's a jar. I mean, it's amazing. I saw the steel pan, and that is one thing, by the way, that I will say fucking impresses me. If you can cook on a steel pan with no oil, that's amazing.
Yeah, fair play.
Fucking hell, you got some bollocks.
You got some balls.
Well, I'd love to see him make an omelette.
Yeah. It's stuck. Fuck.
It's stuck. Let's watch some more Brookers.
So Brooklyn, the other thing that he's done, would you believe it, is he's got some branded SponCon merch. And in line with his kind of like, I'm a wavy chef, it's some hot sauce.
The best moments in life are even better with a little spice.
That's true.
Making the dish more refined. The party sweeter. And the night a little more interesting. Cloud 23 hot sauce. Flavor beyond the clouds.
Sick.
Sounds excited about this hot new product to hit
How
the
was
shelves.
your night out last night? It got a bit more interesting. What happened? Well, Brooklyn bought a jar of hot sauce and poured it on my burger at the end of the night. I've never seen someone bring a jar of hot sauce on a night out before. But
I mean, like, fair play to the creative agency that have somehow got in the room with him and been like, look, we will do all of it. We just need your name on it. It's going to be a hot sauce. It's going to be inexplicably called Clouds. And we're going to...
Read the advert, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's
Post about it
fucking
3
hot
times
sauce.
a week.
It's Tabasco with a bit of extra sugar in it. We'll do an advert where we inexplicably serve it in a restaurant like a chef would do, then just on a chicken breast at a fucking
a dinner party, apparently. I'm going against what I was saying about Gary Gunn last week, because in that sense we were saying, like, Gary Gunn, creep around women, don't tell me how to speak to women. Brooklyn clearly can't cook to save his life, God bless him, don't tell me. Like, stuff like that does piss me off, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think the sweet emptiness with which he does it, just let him do it. No one's getting harmed. There's no financial... I mean, maybe if you're investing in Brooklyn Beckham's hot sauce, like, that's on you.
What would you tell them?
What do you mean?
If there were investors listening to this who've also invested in Brooklyn's hot sauce, have you got any properties in, I don't know...
Got some properties actually for you in Romford, in Essex. Beachfront stuff. It's unbelievable. You should see the sunsets on this place.
He nearly missed the through ball for that.
Yes,
I put him through. He nearly fucking... No. What I will say, just to challenge... So your kind of vibe with Brookers is like, look, he's not doing any harm.
Let's not get too upset. It's not that big a deal.
He's a product of the environment. He's open about his nepotism. No stress. Let me throw this at you. Are we being more forgiving of him because young Brookers has a thing that we call in the industry pretty privilege?
Wow. No,
he's not just good looking. He's
gorgeous.
But he is a specific, somewhat pretty boy. Yeah. This is not chiseled, frightening.
No.
He's got sweet eyes. He's got a loose cheek. Do you know what I mean? He's not a jawline. He's not a beardy guy. He's not danger.
Yeah.
This is a puppy-faced young guy. We'll be calling him a young guy when he's 40. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah. This is an unthreatening. You've called him sweet a few times. You referred to him like a puppy dog. I think that is all appearance-based. There is every chance.
Well, I think it's based on two things. Yeah, it's based on his appearance. He is also quite, like, lovably dark. Like, there's a video of him trying to open a wheel of cheese in a minute.
You think he's thick?
Lovably daft.
Should we watch him with his cheese? Should we see Brookers?
I think this isn't a bad way into this, and then we can finish maybe on him making some lasagna, but it's kind of much of the same. But as an example of what I mean, here's him trying to open a wheel of cheese
cheese.
This is doing this for Vogue. He's clearly never done it.
Through quarantine, it was something that I did every day. Had a glass of wine, cooked for my fiance. So now I'm gonna use a cheese wedge.
Yeah, all right then.
You hear that? I just heard like a little pop.
Why he's doing this on camera for the first time, I'll never know.
Which is a good sign. My dad in England, he always had them in his wine cellar, so I've always been really curious of how to open one. Getting the sweat on.
He can't do it, bless him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
This goes to plan. I'm almost around the whole thing.
Why is he lecturing us on how to do it? He doesn't know how to do it.
All the way around yet.
20 minutes later, it says.
I'm like properly sweating. You see it on camera? I'm like dripping.
I feel so sorry for him.
Here, no? The video made it look a lot easier. It's so close. Do you see it opening?
Look at his face. Oh, when he eventually does it, he's so buzzing.
Do you know what he is? Yeah, and people don't use this word much anymore. He's a bimbo.
That's not a bad
He's
shout,
a
actually.
bimbo.
It's not a bad
He's
shout.
a beautiful idiot.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough of those.
We don't have enough of those.
Look,
he's an airhead.
He's an airhead. He's a ditzy blonde.
Yeah.
He's a ditzy blonde.
At one point in the video, he goes, I started cooking in lockdown every day. He'll be like, what were you doing before?
well, this is the thing. But the rich, they do just have takeaways all the time, healthy takeaways. But no, look, I my place on him, and it's difficult for me because I grew up in Beckham mania. Now, I was an Arsenal fan.
I needed to bring this up. This is, I think, why I'm going easy on him.
I was an Arsenal fan, yeah. And Beckham
transcended clubs.
Beckham transcended clubs. He was also the friendly face of nationalism. Yeah?
Yes.
He was, when he had the fucking, he would do like topless magazine covers with the fucking St. George's cross painted on his six-pack. Fuck yeah.
I mean, the free kick against Greece is the apotheosis of good nationalism, I think.
I would, if I ever got like rich,
mm-hmm.
you can buy football boots, Adidas Predator Manias.
Yes.
For like $1,000.
Yeah.
That are like the boots he scored.
The champagne ones. Yeah.
Oh man, when you
doesn't get any better than that.
I've got shivers.
The Predator accelerators as well. For us, for men of our age, Beckham and those 3 iterations of the Predator boots, that sets something off in us, man.
Ding, 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 ding. It was a beautiful day. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Premiership with Des Lynam. It's that era.
Yeah.
And I remember I was 12 years old, right? This is one of the happiest memories of my life. We went on holiday, I think, to Gran Canaria. It's like one of my first abroad holidays. No, it's Mallorca.
Yeah.
It's
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
It's always one of the two.
We went to Mallorca. I went on holiday with my hair cut into a Mohican that was dyed blonde. I had his hairstyle. I wore an England shirt, Hawley 7, every fucking day of that holiday. It stank, right?
Yes.
At one point, this is honestly one of the happiest memories of my childhood. Like there was me and a load of other shithead kids who were just there, while the evening's entertainment's on, you'd be kicking a ball around.
Yeah.
It got set up that there was a load of Spanish kids who played football against us, the English kids.
Yeah. Them ticky-tackering around.
Oh my God. You've got England, Argentina, 2004 on the screen, on the projector, whilst I get to play for my country against fucking Carlos on the Spanish kids. Yeah. Reducers on them.
Yeah.
I get a free kick into the wall. Doesn't matter. I'm dreaming. He was like David Beckham. It's mad now because he's like a brand more than a human being.
Yeah, he's just like a luxury good.
Yeah.
He's like caviar.
Yeah.
Or bags.
He's like McLaren.
Yeah.
What do they do? It started with
Just
F1,
good,
but you can buy a hat.
Yeah, it's just like good stuff.
Yeah, you can buy a hat. I think you can get McLaren trainers.
Yeah.
It started as one thing. It's just everything now.
You can get a Beckham Ninja Grill and you can get Beckham perfume, I think.
You can get the Beckham whiskey. Then you get the Beckham perfume for your dad for Christmas. I think there's an album somewhere.
There's probably,
And I've obviously got his hairstyle. And like that is... But we grew up with him as like a national icon. And like, I don't think I I don't think it will happen again. I don't think you can have that again. I don't think a footballer will ever be able to be it.
No.
And I don't think a person will ever be able to be what he was to like our generation, maybe the generation of like older football fans back then, of like Brand Beckham was the biggest thing that's ever happened.
And I think that was because, I completely agree. And I think that was in a good and a bad way. It can't happen again. It was because the tabloid press held so much sway then that like they were the news effectively, and like he for better or for worse was in the tabloids for good or bad reasons.
He was made for tabloids. He was made for tabloid media.
And like he was really, really good at football, and also had a very beautiful, famous wife as well. And I know that still happens, but it's just like it was like it does feel like a once in a lifetime.
Is there a footballer and pop star combination now?
No, I don't know that there is. I mean, I guess Piqué and Shakira were at one point before that went all very badly, but
Spanish, so a bit weird.
Not the same,
but I mean, there's obviously Stormzy and Maya Jama.
Are they the Victoria and David of our generation?
I think that's as close as it kind of got. Is them?
Yeah,
you know, obviously
in popular culture,
famous musician, and then she's fit. I think that's her job.
She's a
professionally.
She's a presenter. She's a presenter.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, she presents.
Like, I honestly don't know. Did she work?
Did she? I don't know if she started as a presenter.
Sterling's wife.
No, she stopped doing that. She stopped doing that a while ago. Yeah.
What's she doing now? Show about social media. Anne. No, I stop. No, I will never be able to like slander one of their children.
That's why I think. That's where I think I don't. And I want to place in the way I like Nepo babies where I can see them. I'm putting my biases on the table with this one. They are the royal family to men that were 12 in 2002.
Lower middle or upper working class.
Yes.
They are king and queen.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn is all of our sons, really. I think he's older than me. Brooklyn is all of our sons. And he like... Yeah.
Brooklyn Beckham is our son.
He's our boy.
What we're trying to say.
He's our big daft
shut
boy.
Up! Shut up!
Big daft floppy haired boy. And I'm
He's
sorry.
He's trying to open a wheel of cheese.
Lola Young will never be mine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many reels I watch.
Fuck the Gruffalo.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw her the other day, actually, just popping around Euston.
What, the Gruffalo?
No, Lola Young.
Lola Young? She's popping around Euston?
She looked pretty clean to me.
What was she doing?
Full of shit. No, I don't know, just walking around with some guy. But I've Brooklyn for me, he is like, that's what I would do. Like, do you ever think that? Do you ever think, what if your parents were the Beckhams? What would you do?
Well, I was going to bring this up because I think... I would like to think, I mean, I say this as someone desperately trying to get people to watch his podcast all the time. I was about to say, I would like just shrink into I would just take the money and run.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a necessity of that with us. Like, I think you naturally are more, as someone who's been a, professional level performer for quite a long time, I think you are happier to stay away from people's attention. You don't seek notoriety, do you, necessarily? I don't think you've necessarily got that instinct in the same way.
I think, well, yeah, I guess I resisted it a long time with social media. I mean, it doesn't help, as we've said, that the entire comedy industry is entirely made up of paedophiles. And that is tough. And it's not just one or two.
But I know what you mean.
No, I mean, that's another example of me distancing myself from the thing that I would like to God, the therapist have a field day.
No. But to be serious, I even like when you were at your most active in comedy. It's not that you're inactive now. You're more active than ever, really. You record 2 of these a week. You support me on my tour, blah blah. But I think when like 5 years ago, when you and I both sort of breaking into like paid work in comedy. I think even then, you were a bit like, do I have to do an interview with a magazine when I'm promoting my Edinburgh Fringe show?
The answer is yes.
Do I have to take photographs for that? You were always at that. Whereas I think I was always a bit more like, I don't think I'm necessarily fame hungry. I think I'm just loud. But I think I'm much more like, every now and then we'll bump into people who listen to this podcast, right? And you're. I don't think you struggle with it necessarily, but you're always a bit like, God, that's a bit fucking mad. Some guy said hello to me. I was having a cigarette and it was a bit mad. Whereas I'm like, fucking yeah, oi, oi, big up the rock. Do you know what I mean?
Only mad from the perspective of I can't believe that it's happening. Not mad that they would say hello to me.
No.
It's a nice thing to. I welcome.
Yeah, we're not meaning to sound ungrateful like I'm welcoming, but I guess my point is I can see that you, if you had fame and fortune thrust upon you, would go, fortune please and I'll leave the fame.
Yeah, feet please.
Yeah, no, but you go, money please and I'll leave the fame.
Yes,
thank you.
I would quite happily do that. Yeah,
I could see myself being a bit like, maybe people do want to make me watch a ragged, watch me make a ragged. Maybe my photographs are worthy of a larger audience.
You're thinking that now, aren't you? You're thinking, yeah.
I'm literally thinking I'm like maybe a patron special while I cook a ramen. Yes, I could see why there would be eyes for that, actually. Yes, indeed. Maybe I do have a novel in me. Maybe I could write The Huffalo. Yes, I could see that. I've got that kind of brain. I've got that kind of brain that would do what Brooklyn's done with these opportunities. I'd be like, let's do some more shit. Let's make some more. Maybe, and I think I've got a level of arrogance where I'd go, Dad fucking did his thing, but I want to build my own little empire. I want to, I don't want to live in my dad's shadow. I want to build a big shadow for my kids to live in. You know what I mean? And it's the same now. I want my kids to get rotter shouted at them as they get old.
What, we're going to hand this over like a family business when we hold the microphones?
Yeah, I did say
rotters and sons and daughters.
I did say that to my daughter the other day. Because obviously I do this with you, and we do one Patreon episode a week that we record remotely.
Yeah.
So my spare room in my house is often set up with a light and a microphone. I also do the kickoff, and other football podcasts in that room. And I remember, so my daughter, obviously we recorded this podcast in that spare room quite a lot.
Yeah.
My daughter, goes in that room. She remembers, she'll say to me, she'll be like, are you doing the podcast with Jake today? And I was like, yeah, it's really nice. I like that she remembers that and remembers you and I think I was drunk, but she went in that room like a few Sundays ago. I definitely was drunk if it was a Sunday. And she was like picking up the microphone and having a look at stuff. And I was like, I said to her, I was like, this is all the stuff we use for the podcast with Jake. And she's like, oh, and I was like, I don't know why. I was like, I was definitely drunk. I was like, this will be yours one day. I swear on my life.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Oh my God. I can't believe you said that. Oh my God, that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
This will be
yours.
Did
you actually say that?
This will be yours one day.
Men are class.
She thought I meant the microphone. She thought I meant she'd inherit the microphone, not the podcast and the patrons. I was like, yeah, one day she'll have a load of fucking lunatics messaging her at 4 a.m. going, talk about Bevo again. This schooner revisit needed. And
I can see the therapy session already. Yeah, so he walked me into the spare room. I think he was drunk. It was a Sunday. He was always drunk on a Sunday.
God, that feels horrible. That's true.
And he said, I don't know what he meant by this, but in this podcast, by the way, some of the stuff they said on there, you wouldn't believe. It's disgusting. I mean, they're both in prison now, obviously. But he said, this will be yours.
10 years time, my daughter will be like 15.
Yeah. Just released their first single. We'll be Nepo Babying it up the charts.
No, I can't. I won't ever have any level of wealth or influence that would influence. Like, it would be more of a, oh my God, you managed this while your dad was saying that on the internet. That's
yeah.
But like,
and by the way, if we do somehow, if we hit the lottery with this. I'm going to Nepo Baby the shit out of everyone I know.
I want my kids, if I ever become a fucking millionaire, I want them taking the worst photographs known to man.
And getting paid a shitload of money for it.
I want her taking a photo of an elephant and all you can see is its cock. Do you know what I mean? I want her taking a picture of a fucking dinner party and it's of the legs of the table.
Exactly.
I want her to waste every fucking ounce of privilege I've afforded her because that is her right to do so. But the question I was going to ask you, 10 years time, my daughter's 15, I'm driving to a tree one night, dead, brown bread, like my body rotting in the earth after that because I'm dead.
Sure.
Yeah. Would you do the podcast with my daughter? That's an insane question.
I'm just thinking about how it would I think she's got to be 18.
10 years time with 45 or whatever. And you're doing a podcast with 50 or... No, it's all right though because I knew her dad and he's dead.
It's like professional wrestling, darling, isn't it? Don't you think it's like professional wrestling?
Say the line. Say the line. The thing with pornography is it used to be.
Give a big wink and a kiss to all the ladies, would you, darling?
No, I think the only correct thing to do when you've inherited wealth is to enjoy it, fuck around, ruin it, waste it.
Yeah.
You know, I think I enjoy it. Ultimately,
right.
and I watch him, daft fucking floppy haired Labrador of a boy there, fucking around with a cheese wheel.
Yeah,
I've never been near a cheese. I've never been near a cheese wheel.
He's opening a cheese wheel on Vogue's TikTok. He's not fucking opening the latest session of Parliament, is he?
No.
If he gets elected as the MP for like a town in North Yorkshire, then we'll have a moan about it.
If he starts putting on a Mockney accent and wears like deliberately trashy clothes and starts doing a song going, I'm just so messy.
Yeah.
I'm so bloody insecure. I'm going to go, no, you're fucking not. I bet you smell amazing, Brooklyn. You are not messy. No. You are clean. You are sexy. Your photographs are shit.
And you're our son.
You're our boy. You're golden. You might be Rebecca Lucy's boy. That's not how it works.
How dare you?
That's one thing. I know we've got to go in a minute. That's one thing I will say. I hate. There's that whole kind of thing of like, it's an open relationship. Beckham's allowed to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw something that's so funny the other day. There was a picture went viral of it's Beckham at an awards do, and it's like a kind of like, picture taken over his shoulder. He doesn't realise someone's taking the picture. And he's there, and there's this like blonde girl, like 18, 19, and he's like leaning in for a kiss again. People all over Twitter going, fucking proof. Victoria's been allowing this shit all along.
Right.
Absolutely disgusting rat of a man. How dare he? He's got children. And then like, the community notes on Twitter was like, this is David Beckham's daughter. It was his daughter. Just kissing her on the cheek is his daughter. I fucking hope it's not an open relationship. I hope Beckham's a good man. I hope that the beautiful scene in the Beckham documentary where he's poking his head around the door, going, "Tell the truth," and she's like, "No, my dad had an Aston Martin, whatever the fuck it was."
And also, fuck it, I don't care. I want to believe the fiction. All right?
Yes, exactly.
Fuck you.
We need the fiction.
Yes.
In the same way that like posher people need to believe that the royals are real and not lizards who eat their own fucking shit, and not paedophiles, right? And that Prince Andrew, he does just not sweat, right? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They need that fantasy. We need the fantasy of the Beckhams, and we need to maintain the fantasy that young Brookers, he can cook, right? He's just using a sauce because he wants to.
And he's just a nice boy that likes taking pictures on his phone, all right?
He's got a camera, but I know what you mean. Yeah. And if our children, do you reckon you'll have kids?
What question to ask 47 minutes into the podcast?
It's weird to ask Ava Santina that, but you can't answer that question.
Well,
have you got the coil?
I'm going to be Nepo.
Have you got the coil?
I'm going to be Nepo babying someone because I've got two beautiful nephews, and if I don't have any kids, they're getting the lot, all right? They're getting every single fucking piece of the Nepo action.
And you want them fucking it.
Yeah, and I want them
Your Patreon money is going to fund Jake's nephews making the worst
my
fucking
tiny,
cookery
beautiful
book.
nephews, and they are going to be releasing the worst fucking music you've ever heard.
Drivel. Absolute drivel. They will be messy. And so bloody insecure.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Go easy on Brooklyn Beckham. He's just a lovely Labrador trying to make some carbonara. Look after yourselves. Up the Rotters.